What we do here is go back.
Okay, hey, this is Meg Le VU. I'm doing an interview for a kind of like a written interview, but I'm answering in video because that's what I do. So this is for Seth Resler. Number one, describe your podcast, Get in the Lab, for people who haven't heard it. First of all, I don't know if you can consider it being a podcast. Maybe you can still consider it. I don't know. I think it's all semantics, but it's a show, and Get in the Lab is basically, it started out as a self-developmental show. I'm in my 4th season right now, which kind of just ended, but I didn't really tell anybody. And the last season really focused on self-development, personal development, overcoming the hustle and the struggle of running a business for yourself. So I focused on one topic themes like perception, fear. Those are the big ones that kind of stand out to me. I can't even remember right now. But that's kind of been my focus. In season 5, is going to be more focused on interviews. How did I become a podcaster? Okay, I became a podcaster because I was heavily inspired and influenced from David Siteman Garland. He had a course called Create Awesome Interviews. And I remember that was the first investment that I made into myself when I quit my job working for the County of Riverside. You do an audio and a video podcast. What's the practical impact of that on your workflow? Do you see a different response from audiences to different formats? I don't do audio anymore. I still have audio content that is out there, but I don't think it truly reflects where I'm at this point. But it's cool. It's part of that time in my podcast and in my content and in my career. Audio is, I would say it's a lot easier than video, because video is a visual thing, and when things are visual, it needs to be, you really have to rely heavily on the entertainment factor of things, the entertainment or inspiration factor of content. And that's what I kind of tell my students at the School of Video Marketing, is the only way people are going to watch your videos is because you're entertaining and or inspiring. So you don't have to be somebody you're not to be entertaining. I think you just truly have to be you. But in that, to answer your question, it affected my workflow in that when I was doing audio and video, it was a lot, and it felt very redundant. It felt very repetitive. It was very draining. I got burnt out a lot faster and multiple times. So I tried to do it for a long time. I believe at least 2 to 3 years of doing that, of putting out audio and video content. I still put out audio content, but it's not the same format as my video shows. So I always try to do something different between the different types of content that I create. So for example, I will create audio content still, but it's usually an audio blog of an article that I've written on my husband's wedding blog. Or when I do a video show, it's solely for whatever that purpose is, right? Or if I do a vlog, it's for that purpose. So in the same sense, if I do an interview, those get kind of tricky because they can go both ways. But I still really favor video over audio, because that's just, well, it's part of my brand too, but I just really like the video element and the storytelling element that video can do. And in the end, I didn't end up staying with audio formats. So while you could still find my podcast out there in iTunes and stuff like that, and it wasn't that I wasn't doing well. I got new Noteworthy and got considerably good downloads. I wasn't making money from it. And so I don't like to say that you shouldn't be in iTunes because you're not making money. But when you're a solopreneur and you need to support your family and stuff, you need to go where your money is. So for me, my money was not in being in iTunes and putting out audio podcasts. That wasn't where I shined, and that's not where I was being effective in making money. I've basically eliminated audio podcasting from my content creation since 2015. You decided early on to produce your show in seasons. Why? What impact has that had? Good question. So I decided, like I kind of said earlier, I decided to do seasons because I get bored very easily, just creatively. I like to jump into things very quickly. And if you haven't already assessed your own personality, you should do that, because my personality is a quick start. I like to start things. I have no problem starting things. And it's actually called a quick start. Some people are fact finders, like my husband. He likes to gather all the facts and take his sweet time collecting and researching and then making a move. I'm like, if I like it, if I love it, I gotta have it. I gotta move. I gotta make something happen. I gotta move in that direction, and I don't really care if there's a limitation that might stop me. But if I'm ready to go, then all guns are firing. I don't even ask questions, like, let's do it. So with the show being in seasons, it plays to my strength of being a quick start. At the same time, maybe that's not a good thing for some people who like consistency and like a routine, but because Get in the Lab is my baby and it's my creation, I can tailor it and shape it and mold it and cut it down and be really creative, or be really simple, or be vloggy and storytelling and all kinds of things. And so it really allows me to be flexible with how I want to create my content and be as creative as I can, or whatever. So it just kind of mirrors what I'm going through in that moment in time. And I like things to be very reflective of me. I used to draw. I still consider myself an artist, but now my medium and ways of storing and expressing myself are through video. So that's why I do it in seasons. The impact that it's had with it being in seasons, I think it's allowed me to feel more liberated and free with how I put out content. Because think about it this way: if you ask any typical podcaster that's getting started, the goal is probably like just get a podcast out or an episode out every week, like I used to think as well. And that was your goal. It was your goal to just book somebody cool, get a podcast out every week, and just stick to that. And over time, creating content for like 3 years, I found that wasn't really effective. It was kind of aimless content creation. So now every season serves a very specific purpose. And when that purpose is fulfilled, or I feel that it's gone through its time in the sun, I let that idea die. And this is something that I talk about in a lot of interviews, is allowing yourself to kind of die and come back and kind of go through this cyclical thing of death and rebirth in your content, in yourself, like spiritually, mentally, emotionally, whatever. And I find that when you can do that and not get so attached to, say, branding or color schemes or how you look or whatever, it allows you to be more free and to really step into your true potential, whatever that is. So it allows for a lot of personal growth, and it doesn't stifle me and keep me locked into this or that, right? So I just think it's really liberating to do it in seasons. And so when a season has had its time in the sun, and it was successful or not, then I just move on to the next idea. How have audiences discovered your show? Most people discover me on Facebook. So I natively post my episodes now on Facebook. Now that I'm not publishing on iTunes, I needed another channel to distribute. So it was basically, I got a lot of momentum and reach from Facebook, and then boosting it by using Facebook ads. I still post on YouTube because I love the instant connection that I can have with my audience there. But yeah, Facebook. What streams of revenue have you been able to develop as a result of Get in the Lab? Streams of revenue are sponsorship, which is small. Sponsorship, there's been consulting and coaching, and a video editing service. So those are the 3 things that support me right now, or that come out of Get in the Lab. The 4th one would be my husband. But those are the three that Get in the Lab has generated, and that has helped bring in some extra income as far as the little things that we need. And so basically what we are now trying to do is all that money goes back into reinvesting into other businesses. I'm involved in other businesses as well, and other types of business models. But yeah. Okay, so another one, what advice would you give aspiring podcasters? Aspiring, okay. So you need to be really clear, I think, as a podcaster about what your goals are with your podcast, because I think people get inspired for sure when they see successful podcasters who are making X amount of dollars, but they don't necessarily know how a podcast even correlates to making money. Obviously, I think people are inspired by podcasting because of the money factor. They're like, ooh, it looks like I could not have to work at my 9-to-5 job, which I don't particularly like. So you have to be really clear about your goal, whether it's to make money or not. But I really doubt that people are in podcasting just to have fun. I think it's a great way to utilize podcasting in all the different ways that you can, and it's up to you to do that research. So again, knowing what your goal is, like if you don't want to make direct money with podcasting, at least know where podcasting falls in the cog of how it's going to contribute to you making money, right? Because I really do not believe in people just putting out content for the will of it forever, just for the fun of it forever. There usually has to be some sort of gain somehow. If it's not monetary, it's indirectly related to monetary, which I don't think is a bad thing to say. You just have to be upfront and honest with yourself and knowing where your goals are. And the next thing would be like, I would be really clear about who you are as a person. So I stuck with podcasting for a long time, an audio only show, like 62 episodes or something like that, interviewing really cool people, making a lot of cool connections, but I was just like doing it for a hobby, and I really wanted to make money, but I didn't know how to even ask the right questions, and I really actually wanted to do video. I was bored with my own content, but I did it for like 60 episodes. Like that means 60 weeks of just putting out content where I was just kind of scared. You know, just put it out. Because I want to, I just want to fit in and be a podcaster. That's not very smart. That's a very fearful way of getting started. So you need to know who you are and where your strengths lie. I knew that I could make videos better than I could podcasting, and I should have focused on that, but I don't regret anything. But I'm saying just know yourself and be very, very clear about your goals. And if you are not clear about your goals and you think you're clear, you're not clear. So seek some people out in the industry who are willing to help you, and maybe they at the moment offer their time for free, but they've been around the block. Maybe somebody like me. And they're not charging up the wazoo right at the moment for their time. Go and ask them, and they'll give you a better idea. Because I feel like a lot of us sit on our ideas and sit on, waiting for permission from somebody, or we need validation, myself included. So go do that. Like that's a free thing, but it requires you to be a little uncomfortable and maybe kind of cold call or reach out to somebody you don't know. But yeah, start there. The best thing is to start making friends in the industry, like real friends, because they're gonna watch your back. They're gonna support you when you really need it, and they're gonna introduce you to a lot of cool tools, things, people, events, and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's my advice. I think that's pretty solid advice. I would give that to myself if I could go back in time. So I think I answered all your questions. And so thanks, Seth, for asking these questions. Thank you for looking into my content and before interviewing me. I appreciate that. Good things. And if I can answer any more questions, you can reach me on the social feeds, on Twitter at Megan J Photo. Same thing for Instagram. I'm on Snapchat. It's Megan Pancan, my maiden name. And I'm on Facebook a lot, and you can find me there at Get in the Lab podcast. Good things. Once again, my name is Meg, reminding you to get in the lab. Thanks, Seth.